qualify for top 64. It's going to be pretty interesting so far. And we're seeing actually Greninja coming into play.
That's right.
And Juanpi actually picking the Palutena like you mentioned beforehand.
Yeah, I remember him telling me earlier, I think it was last night, he was talking about his bracket path, and he was pretty confident that this is a matchup where the Palu is just going to be like kind of too oppressive at times, right, for Greninja, right? Not from an offensive perspective, but that against Palu, it's going to be really, really hard for Greninja to get things started. But Ducky will get off the first blood with a Nair. Does not get a big combo, though. Let's see on Pokemon Stadium 2 where this game will end.
Yeah, Greninja players specifically have been dwindling down, but we have those combinations actually on deck. Dang. Oh my god, Ducky.
Yeah, Ducky going for the crazy stuff. And again, I said this in the last set too. I love testing your opponent and seeing what kind of crazy things you can get away with. If you can get kind of a cheesy stock. Right now, Ducky, though, keeping a lot of great pressure on Juanpi. I mean, playing up close with this Greninja, and I think that's one of the things you have to be able to do with this character. Catch Palutena when she is on the ground where she's at her weakest, and Greninja ostensibly is at his strongest.
Yeah, you do not want to fight aerial combat with Palutena, so you got to try to be as grounded as possible like Ducky is playing it right now, so doing a really good job on that. Like I was trying to mention beforehand, a lot of Greninja players are actually trying to get a lot more momentum when it comes to him. There were a lot of differences from Smash Wii U, especially since the footstool combos are not going to be as effective. He does have a couple of tools differently in Smash Ultimate, and we are seeing the representation from the character doing a really good job. Nevertheless, Ducky showing that the frog can do some work.
Oh, and one of the things that he is doing so well, on top of landing a couple of confirms that have been really key already in that first stock, he's making it really, really hard for Juanpi to get anything started. It seems like for Palu, right, these low frames are always such a really, really tough matchup for her because she loves to get things started by jumping in with some kind of aerial, but you can see Greninja's just such a slippery, tough target to hit.
The problem is going to be when Palutena is actually going to try to get more momentum in. Now, most of Greninja's out-of-shield options are pretty suspect at best, so that is something that definitely Juanpi can take advantage of. Nevertheless, edge guard situations and Ducky looking pretty poised so far to take the second stock if Juanpi doesn't have anything to say about it.
Oh my goodness, and interrupted him in the middle of trying to angle the up B. That single water shuriken threw everything off for Juanpi. I'm loving this aggressive initiation style from Ducky, but Juanpi finally firing back with one confirm out of the air, catching that landing from Ducky. He's playing from a full stock behind against somebody who has had control of the match thus far.
Yeah, and you really need to be careful when it comes to those down throw techs from Palutena. After the changes, you always want to try to tee out on the outside and try not to jump again. That's why he got caught in the first place, Kimona. So he actually managed to drift back away, but actually jumped in to get onto stage because he got overzealous, and eventually the up air did connect that time. And now Juanpi is actually paying a lot more grounded and paying attention to what Greninja is doing, and he's doing a really good job at it as well.
Juanpi's one of those players where he is just at his best when he is trying to prevent you from doing your best thing and then punishing the mistakes when you feel like you have to try to go for something a little bit overzealous. And speaking of overzealous, Juanpi looking for something big with that stage, the teleport cancel on the edge of the stage. Doesn't find anything big, but with the Greninja at 116, looks like he's about to bring this game all the way back.
She's trying to respond back with the down air, not quite going to be enough for that one. Barely missing the mark that time. This time it's going to connect. And again, the water shuriken is doing such a good job. Sweet baby Jesus, Ducky. Putting Greninja on the board.
I mean, and honestly, what impressed me most about Ducky, right, he's doing a lot of the good fundamental things that Greninja should be doing. Again, like playing grounded, hitting a lot of his confirms, and not getting too crazy or too cute with his pressure. He's keeping things safe, but what's really stood out to me so far has been the edge guarding. Ducky has been really, really good at taking stocks while Juanpi has been off stage or trying to make his way back. That's not something I traditionally think of Greninja as being really, really good at doing, but Ducky's been making it work.
Doing a really good job so far. Let's see what adaptations we can see. Oh, Banjo?
Wow. I have not seen Juanpi's Banjo in a while. He's mostly down to the Palu and the Mii Brawler, but the Banjo is a character that he keeps in the back pocket for a few matchups, and I like him going for it here because I think one of the things he's noticed about Ducky, and probably why he's switching it up to this Banjo, is he's just trying to pick him off for the movement. We've seen pretty committal movement from Ducky, and at times has been, I don't know, a little bit too heavy on these dash-ins, dash-backs, and staying grounded. That's something that Banjo, especially with his down tilts, can do an amazing job at contesting.
So far, so good by Greninja, however. Banjo looking a little rusty, or maybe just trying to heat up a little bit. We haven't seen Juanpi actually play in bracket with the Banjo in the first place, Kimona, so we might see just trying to stretch out, make sure that he actually feels comfortable on the stage, because the character switching can be a little detrimental.
I'd be surprised if he didn't actually pull out the Banjo at all in Squad Strike, because this is a character he's very confident in, and once he gets control of the pace of the match, he can do so well, because Juanpi's spacing is really, really good. The problem is that Ducky is pretty much making that a non-factor with Greninja's burst movement, really, really playing around all of that, and with that counter perfectly timed, Juanpi's going to have to realize that for the rest of the set. You can't just try and toss out that egg to control the stage.
Yeah, so far so good by Greninja. One more time. Back throw is going to be the name of the game for 67%. And a lucky break maybe for Juanpi. The universe is talking into his favor as we see a little bit of an SD.
And you know what? You got to take that if you're Juanpi, right? You got to look at that and say, you know what, that's the opportunity to get back into the game. Now, maybe you can get some semblance of control back here, but Ducky's just not letting that happen again. The aggression from him has kind of kept Juanpi on the back foot this entire set. With Banjo, it can be hard to try to establish that.
Yeah, dash attack is going to be the name of the game. 41% back throw as well.
Ooh! Woo!
Actually gonna get him with a forward smash of 71. Now Greninja's actually trying to turn up the heat. We haven't seen a single Wonder Wing actually come out. And again, the counters are gonna be the name of the game, especially when you're gonna see the grenades gonna come out. So
you did see Juanpi try to play around that, though. He tried to air dodge at the moment that the counter would come out. Yeah, unfortunately, it's a very active hitbox, so it's exceedingly difficult to try to counter that on reaction. Gonna try to make some use of these Wonder Wings, though. He didn't pull it out a single time in that first stock, and the key part is that move is very punishable if you whiff. It is invincible and powerful, of course, but you have to find the right moments to throw it out. Juanpi may have a good moment now. Down throw, you better have a mash.
Oh, yeah, and we're seeing that Ducky does indeed have said mash, 166%, another Wonder Wing loss, so 2 more feathers to go. And he's just going for the counters again. Forward smash going to be enough to seal it. 1 stock away for advancing onto the next round of winner side to face fatality.
Ducky might just be able to do that, but Juanpi has definitely been able to find some solid footing. Great, phenomenal parry to get that up smash afterwards, too. Knew that that was exactly the punish he was looking for. He's going all the way up to try to find his way back down, and does. Ducky could not time that juggle. Juanpi now gets to play with a percent lead for pretty much the first time here.
Yeah, and now actually taking the lead like you mentioned beforehand. Up smash is going to be the name of the game, so we're actually starting to cook up with the bear and the bird. See if it's going to be enough to actually take this game and force that game 3. Banjo looking sweet. Oh my god, I really love that forward tilt into the grenade, into the back air, 87% with another one. The pellets are going to come out by Kazooie, 98%. Ducky is looking for offense, but overextending. And that's part of the reasons why he picked Banjo in the first place.
Yeah, that's exactly what Juanpi's looking for, right? He's trying to set up traps on the stage to see if Ducky will kind of take some bait, jump in, and give him something that he can punish afterwards, and he has been all over that. We've seen it a couple times with the up smashes on things like the dash attacks as well, but this game's starting to look like it can go either way. With 98%, Greninja does, of course, have to be wary of the Wonder Wing, but now Juanpi's got to start fearing a lot of these confirms. Yes. Wonder Wing takes him all the way across the stage. You got to be afraid of down throw now, too, even if you've got a mash.
Actually, really good punish there. Oh, the forward smash just barely missing the mark that time. Grenades are going to come out. Fair is going to be the name of the game for Banjo, but the back air is not quite going to be enough to do it. The knockback in that particular move is not quite enough so far, but you do like those multi-hits, especially if you're facing off against Greninja. Fair is going to come out one more time, going to clank on the shield. Nair, 157%, 155 now on to Greninja. What is going to be the play for Banjo and Kazooie to force that game 3? Shadow Sneak, sending him across the stage. Wonder Wing to recover, and the forward smash is going to seal it for Ducky. In a 1-stock, high percent situations, Banjo was this close to getting that win.
Yeah, and it was Ducky that ended up clutching it up, though. Juanpi just couldn't find the way to end the stock, and I think that part of it was that he strayed away from the game plan that we saw him establish in that game 2 with the Banjo. He was very stringent on playing around the platforms, forcing the Greninja to approach, and forcing him to approach in ways that are kind of suboptimal, right? Using an egg to cover the top platform, using the grenade to cover something on the ground, and then maybe you're going to pare down those options to the point where you can get a big hit. But Juanpi kind of started to stray away as his percentages started to climb, you know, and as Ducky was starting to counter hit him, he started feeling like he had to go in.